Good day and welcome to this class. Today we shall be talking about expository essay. Now, what's an expository essay? An expository essay aims to inform, explain, or describe a topic in a clear, objective way without personal opinions. I'll take that again. This particular essay aims to inform, explain, or describe a topic in a clear, objective way without personal opinions. Now, an expository essay uses facts, evidence, and logical reasoning. It gives a balanced understanding, often using structures like comparison, contrast, cause and effect, or process analysis, and is a key type of academic writing. Invariably, when you're writing an expository essay, it has to be on fact-finding, logical reasoning, and you must have a balanced understanding of the topic. Characteristics of an expository essay. For purpose. Why is it on? Let's discuss the purpose. The purpose of an expository essay is to explain, inform, or clarify a subject. If you remember the time of COVID-19, so many explanations were given on the virus. When you listen to the radio, when you watch the news, the constant thing then was wash your hands, sanitize, XYZ, do not be in the midst of plenty, avoid crowds and all that. So the purpose of an expository essay is to explain. You could also explain happenstances or happenings around the world or clarify a subject. How is the tone of an expository essay? The tone should be neutral, objective, and unbiased. I'll go again. Your tone shouldn't be harsh. It should be neutral. It should be objective and unbiased. The content of an expository essay should be factual. You should rely on data, statistics, example, and credible sources. That is why when you're writing, you have things like according to Wikipedia, according to a research done by let me use Sheon Agbaje, according to research done by Scholastica Ibele, so it has to be credible resources. The person who you're quoting or whom you're quoting must have researched, has empirical data that you can rely on, must have gone through so many observations, must have observed events and happenings. What's the structure like? The structure of an expository essay is clear, logical, with an introduction, body, paragraphs, and conclusion. Now let's go to our starter. How do you start your expository essay? A strong starter holds the reader's attention. It clutches the reader's attention while setting up the topic. It could be a surprising fact, a question, a quote, a definition, or a brief anecdote. Now, for some of us asking, what's an anecdote? An anecdote is a short story that tells us more like a sum up of what you're writing about. So when you're about writing an expository essay, please, for you to catch the reader's attention, you could come up with a very good starter. Do you know that? Did you? And all that. Or have you ever? Just very nice, catchy thing. It could be a question. It could be a quote, a definition, or a brief anecdote. General tips for a starter: keep it concise. Concise means very short. Keep it concise. For junior school, our essays should be like paragraphs. Paragraph should be like 8 to 10 sentences. For senior school, about 10 to 12. But for your starter, keep it concise. So you should have about 1 to 4 sentences. Make it relevant to your thesis statement. Tailor it to your audience and topic. Now, whatever you're having as your starter, tailor it to your audience. If your audience would be, let's take, for example, teenagers or adults. So just tailor your starter to your audience and topic. Now, let's look at some topics you can actually do. Classwork. The dangers of drug abuse among youth. The importance of reading good books, or how to prevent road accidents in Nigeria. We have a starter for the third topic. We can start this way. Last year alone, over 5,000 lives were lost on Nigerian roads due to avoidable accidents, making our highways some of the most dangerous in the world. With this as your starter, you're good to go. You could also use an anecdote. When we are talking about this topic, how to prevent road accidents in Nigeria, there's been road accidents in Nigeria, with the latest one that happened between Anthony Joshua and his crew. I think he was going visiting his grandmother's place. Well, two of his friends lost their lives, but Anthony and the driver survived. So you could use a starter, you could use an anecdote, because his own trended most because he's an international artist. He has family ties with Nigeria and all that. That's not to undermine that other people who have died do not have a name, but you know how it is. So when you're using, or when you're choosing this particular topic, you could use an anecdote. Your anecdote could also your anecdote could be personal. You could use a thesis statement or a fact finding starter. So good luck. So tell us, what do you think the starters of the first and second topic will be? The dangers of drug abuse among youth, or the importance of reading good books in Nigeria. Reading good books. When we are talking about this expository essay, something came to my mind and we discussed it in class. Let me go back to it. Characteristics of an expository. The purpose to explain, inform, or clarify a subject. Some controversial topics or subjects were mentioned, one of which is identity and equality, gender roles and all that, rights in sports, education, and cultural appropriation. That's a very good topic. But whatever you're doing, just make sure that you have a very good starter. Make sure that your content is factual and it relies on data. It's not based on personal opinion or emotions. Have credible sources. Have examples. You must have studied it over time. I know some of our students give examples of their experiences in the USA and all that. So good luck. Tell me, did you understand expository essay, and can we have a good starter on any of the topics? Thank you very much for joining in this class. See you next time. Bye-bye. But before I say bye, I'm sorry, I have to come back. This beautiful slide, was made by one of our students, Shima Agbaje. Thank you very much. She's in SS2 of the Lagoon School, Lekki. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Bye-bye.